Suave.
I've been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mentor. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different route, change relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hardly. Now
Bet Online is your number one source for all of your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Alrighty, guys, we are back with another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. I'm your host, Andrew Robinson, as always. And before we introduce our guest for today, definitely got to get the business out the way, guys. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, stop what you're doing right now. Go ahead and tap that subscribe button. We just hit 8,600 subscribers on YouTube. We're almost at 10K. So shout out to you guys for showing us love on YouTube. If you're watching this or listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating, follow the show, like it, all that there, man. It goes a long way in just helping the show get out there to everybody who needs to hear the good gospel here at the What's in Your Bag podcast. That's my guy, Pull Up Tay. On the intro, it's going to be him again on the outro. He dropped a new album. Make sure y'all streaming his music, one of the hottest up-and-coming artists out of DMV. But now that we got all that out the way, man, you know what I'm saying, I'm pleased to introduce our guest for today. Me and this guest go way back, man, to them DMV days, 2014 Capital Classic, man. Almost 10 years in, man. It's crazy.
Sure.
This guy has a crazy resume, man. All-time leading scorer at Mount St. Joe's, two-time Natty champ, first team All Big East All-Tournament team. One of the greats to come out of DMV, man. We're honored to have my guy on the platform, man. Phil Booth. What's up, my boy?
What's up, man? I'm glad to have you on, man. Appreciate it.
No doubt, man. Sure, like I said, it's been a long time coming, man, since that Capital Classic back in 2014, man. We're definitely going to get into all that. But I know right now you out in Miami, you know, enjoying the offseason, man. So how's that going so far?
Miami's going good, man. This is only my second time actually ever coming to the city. So I'm just down here just working out, just getting myself back to the shape I want to be and taking it from there.
Yeah. Now, for the folks who don't know, man, like what does a off season look like, you know, for a pro athlete, right? Because I know, you know, it can be difficult. Obviously, it's tough. You know, you got that 9-10 month bid overseas. Your body's tired when you first get home. So what is your process like first trying to hop back into that routine of working out in the off season? And then what does a typical day look like for you training?
I mean, yeah, it's tricky, man. You do 10 months over there. So then when you come home, you only really got 2 months and some change, really. I came home like late May this time, so I had a little more, but you only got like 2 months, so you kind of have everything kind of planned out. I mean, it's however you want to live. You know, some guys, you know, got families and stuff, so they live with them. You know, me, I don't. I mean, I have my family at home, but I don't have no personal family to me, so I kind of just move around and just see people I want to see, my friends, you know, my family. And I move around like that, kind of on the go. I'm kind of in different spots all the time, to be honest, just moving around, but that's kind of how it goes, man. You got to rest up, but then you got to get back to work. I think I took 2 weeks off. I was like, man, I can't take that much time off more. You know, it just the longer you wait, the worse it is to come back. So I don't like taking more too. So I'm getting myself back in shape now and just head down.
Yeah. Hey, you gonna get back in the gym with Maul when you get back home? Because I know Maul workouts be crazy. You take too much time off, he gonna try to burn you that first workout.
Bro, my first week back, I worked out with Maul. So Maul had me for a week, man. I needed it, but Maul had me dead, bro. It's just every time. I know, but it's always good work. It's always love. That's my guy for real.
Cool. I know Maul gonna watch this, man. So shout out Maul, man. 9450. Y'all watch, man.
Oh, man.
Tap in with him if you back home in the DMV area, man. But
Sure.
We're gonna get into it, man. Before we get into like the college career and the pro career, man, I want to rewind it, man. But I want to ask you this, man, because I've been meaning to ask you this for a minute, man. You know, went to Mount St. Joe's in high school up in Bmore, but you played for Takeover in AAU, you know, DC DMV team, man. So do you claim Baltimore? Do you claim the DMV? Where do you fall into that matrix, man? Because you know I'll get back home.
That's a great question, man. I kind of can play it safe because I'm in between. Like, you know, I got love for both sides. I mean, playing Takeover and then being around DC at that time in terms with the WCAC and the level of basketball that was being played was high level at that time. So I had a really thing for just basketball-wise DC, but just growing up in the Baltimore area my whole life, just playing against those hoopers and that mentality down there is different. So, I mean, I play both. I think both got a strong impact on my game now, both sides. I mean, I love playing Takeover. I love playing for St. Joe. So it's all ball love both ways.
Okay, so you don't claim one or the other.
No, I don't. I play clean, man. I don't claim be
Smart man, smart man. So you mentioned that takeover team, obviously that you played on, man, yourself. Gotta shout out James Palmer. We had him on What's in Your Bag a couple of weeks back. Trey Campbell, Dion Wiley. Y'all had a bunch of dudes on that team, man. Talk about that team takeover team, because obviously back in 2014, we came out that year and y'all had a crazy roster, man. Takeover always has crazy teams, but what do you remember about just your year with Takeover? Some of the guys you had down there playing with, and then also I remember EYBL at that time was crazy. I remember E1T1 had like D'Angelo Russell, Ben Simmons, Grayson Allen. Like, talk about the guys y'all had to go up against during that EYBL season as well.
I mean, man, that team Takeover team was loaded. I mean, we won our first 17 games. We was our only undefeated team in EYBL at that time in that year with a crazy year. The only reason we lost was because we didn't have Dion for the weekend. I think we was in Minnesota. Dion couldn't make the trip. So that's the only reason we lost. But, man, it was loaded. That talent around there. We played Houston Hoops. We had Winslow, De'Aaron Fox, Kelly Oubre. I mean, they were stacked, and we beat them. And it was so many other teams on there. I mean, it was like 2 or 3 NBA dudes on each team, and it felt like in that league, bro. I mean, Oakland Soldiers had Aaron Gordon, Stanley Johnson at the time. Like, it was loaded back then. So that was EYBL was so much fun, bro. I mean, I love high school, but playing EYBL, playing against that talent on that circuit, you going to Texas, you know what I'm saying? We're going to Texas, Minnesota, LA, man. These are big trips for us at the time. We only about 16 years old, so just being on the road, moving like that, Boo Williams playing that talent, that stuff was fun, bro. And that's why we all still cool to this day, because we just really did our stuff together. Me, James, Trey, Dion, still talk to them dudes. So it's all love, man. It was a great time.
No, facts. And did they Houston Hoops? Didn't they have Justin Jackson as well that went to UNC?
Yeah, I didn't say him. See, I didn't even say him. Yeah, he was on that team for sure.
Yeah, bro. Man, it's crazy because before Houston Hoops, bro, this is back when it was AAU Nationals, before EYBL, we played against a team called Houston Select. And they had Kelly Oubre, they had Justice Winslow, and they had a bull by the name of Tony Upchurch. But he was like a top 10 player in the country. But he was a football player, bro. Like, but he was basketball back in the day. That team was so hectic, bro. I remember, bro, Kelly Oubre was like one of the role players. He wasn't even really a main. This is like 13 or 14 or under, bro. Crazy team. He played against Simeon. No, not 18 one Simeon. The team was it was a team out of Chicago. Yeah, it was
Irvin?
Nah, so this team became Mac Irvin. Ferrari. It was the name. Ferrari, yeah, bro. Bro, Ferrari. It was Jaleel Okafor, Paul White, Miles Reynolds. Bro, they had and then that team became Whitney Young. All of them went like Whitney Young, and then ended up going to Mac Irvin, bro. So it was crazy, man. Them AAU days, man. Around that time, 2014 class was hectic, man. Wow.
Loaded time, bro. A lot of talent on the court, bro. A lot of talent on the court.
Facts. Now, I want to talk about that Capital Classic game back in 2014, the U.S. Versus obviously Capital All Stars. I mean, that game was loaded as well. Obviously, DMV was myself, you, Melo Trimble. Wiley was supposed to play, but he didn't end up playing. But we had obviously James Palmer, Trey Porter, Shinanu Onuaku that ended up going to Louisville. He's overseas now doing his thing. The U.S. All Stars, they had the Martin twins. I don't know if you remember that. Jaquan Newton, Angel Delgado, Kadeem Carrick. It was a wild game. And crazy, obviously, now, man, seeing obviously the Martin twins in the league doing their thing. But just what do you remember about that game and about just being able to play against, all them guys, seeing where everybody's been able to go since then?
That game was a blur for. I remember just being fun to be out there with everybody else in that court. Kind of our last kind of time being on the court against each other till we all went off to college for. That was the last real thing. Of being in that area, maybe playing against each other. Then we were always kind of gone and kind of split ways. That's kind of I remember it as. I remember we had practice for that thing. Didn't we? Did practice for that joint a couple times.
Did.
I lived in that area, so I was really had to slide all the way down to PG County. That was kind of a hike for me, but
Yeah.
stuff, man. It was really our last time. Was really around each other in that sense because we all went out different places, but that was cool, man.
For sure. Now, I looked this up, man. It said that when you left, I know you were the all-time leading scorer at Mount St. Joe. Does that record still stand? Did anybody hawk you down yet?
No, that's not even me though. That's wrong though. It's Cam Williams was the all-time leading scorer, and then I think little James Bishop that came out after passed him. I'm pretty sure he's the all-time leading scorer. I think now so it's Bishop. Okay. I think Bishop's W right now. I think we split DW.
Yep, he is. So I want to talk about the obviously, like I said, me being more of a DMV guy, right? You think about the Catholic League. You mentioned WCAC. You got DeMatha, Gonzaga, St. John's, Paul Six, O'Connell, right? But the Baltimore Catholic League is a real good league as well. Obviously, Mount St. Joe's, you got St. Francis, you got Calvert Hall, it's a bunch of schools up there that play in that private school league. And you guys yourself, you got to play with Jalen Adams, who's obviously another guy who had a great career in college at St. Bonnie's and overseas. You guys have had a bunch of guys come through Mount St. Joe's. You already mentioned Cam Williams that went to Ohio State, and James Bishop that's at GW, went to LSU out of college. But and Young Bull obviously just left there, but they had Bryson Tucker that was there, 5-star prospect. Daryl Morcell came out of Mount St. Joe's, right? Talk about the amount of guys that have come out of Mount St. Joe's and just what it was like playing in that Baltimore Catholic League for people who might not know about it on a national scale. I feel like most people know about the WCAC and stuff like that, but it's also some good bump up there. John Carroll, Emmanuel quickly was over there at John Carroll. I know everybody knows who that is. Another school in that Baltimore Catholic League. So did you talk about that experience, in high school at MSJ?
That was a tough league too, and it was a league like WCAC that favored older guys. So when you were younger playing out there, those guys feel like grown men to you. You know what I'm saying? And the bump was tough, night in, night out. I mean, with St. Francis, Spalding, John Carroll, you had all those guys now missing, like Calvert Hall, and those are rivalry games. Them games were tough. Yep. And I always actually really wanted to play WCAC too, because I always felt like we matched up well against that league. I feel like the leagues are similar in terms of just toughness and grit and what it took out there. So, I mean, any chance to play against that league, I would. But the BCL, man, has been great. A lot of good guys come out here. Jalen Smith from our school, a lot of paces now, man. It's a few dudes coming out, like you said, quickly. Like the talent rolling in is coming out of there. I think it won't stop like that. Baltimore just a good hub for players, and I think it's going to keep going up. But man, it was a good time.
No facts. I'm mad because I can't remember his name right now, but St. Francis got a young man right now who's like a 5-star prospect, a guard, come out of Baltimore. Yeah. I can't think of his name right now, but he's next up though, out of B-More for sure. It's been a bunch of Bulls that come out of the league right now. So talk to me about Villanova, man. Like what went into your process to commit to Villanova? What were kind of some other schools that you were looking at that time, and what made Villanova feel like the right place that you wanted to call home, for your college career?
Yeah, I mean, at that time it came down to it was Nova, Georgetown, Virginia, Indiana, and Temple. That was my final 5. At the time, I really loved Georgetown, but I really didn't. They was running the Princeton offense, so I just really wasn't winning at that time. I just couldn't do it. But ideally wise, that fit perfect. DC, I'm like 45 minutes from home. That was like ideal. I liked Indiana a lot too. Like Virginia, just play a little slow. Yeah. And man, it kind of made it simple. Like they was one of the few places at that time. Everybody does it now, where you play like 2 point guards at a time, 2 or 3 shooting guards at a time. Everybody was still kind of playing position-based point guard, shooting guard, you know what I'm saying? We play small. So I just thought minutes-wise to get on the court, and then the way the freedom Coach Wright gives his guards, I'm like, it was ideal. And that's what it was, too. I mean, they preached that when they're recruiting you, like, yo, you're going to get freedom. Coach going to challenge you, but you get freedom. You play a lot of guards together. I was like maybe the 4th guard on the roster in terms of, like, playing-wise. We had Archie Diacono, Dylan Ennis, Darren Hilliard, blah, blah. So, like, yeah, another guard, but we played so many guards together that I was able to get out there in my first year, play 17 minutes a game. Other places, I don't think it would have happened like that. And that's what that was just the biggest thing, just that choosing the opportunity. And Coach Wright, it was He was how it was, man. He was tough when he Rodgers but let you hoop on offensive end, gave you freedom. You saw how we played, we shoot threes, we space it out. So I just trusted there and it worked out well, man.
It sure did. It sure did. We're definitely gonna get into that, man. But I had the opportunity to play 2 years for Baker Dunleavy, who was a Jay Wright disciple.
Sure, sure.
Working with you guys at Villanova. So we had that whole Villanova system at Quinnipiac.
Yeah,
Attitude points. Yeah, we had attitude
all
points.
all
We
that.
had the jump stop pivot drill. Bro, I promise you, I don't think I ever actually like practiced literally as a grown like man in college, driving, jump stopping, pivot, and throwing it back out in a college practice, bro. Like I was in 4th grade fundamentals, bro. When did that? Was that part of the? I don't know. Was that part of the pitch? Did he tell you all that it was gonna be that like fundamental? Because if you watch the Villanova highlight tape, it's like robotic almost. Everybody drive, back pivot, hook, fade. Like we all do the same pivots, same footwork. You get to the hop jumper.
Yep, hop jumper. Yep, yeah.
So when did you realize, or like kind of how did that, was that part of the recruitment pitch? And then like as a guard, I feel like in your mind, man, I'm trying to get in there and shoot floater, whatever. Like, how did you have to adjust to that when you first came in?
You know what? We used to drill it so much, and like with drills, they became like habits. To us, really like you would catch yourself playing and just jump stop. You're like, yo, why am I jump stopping so much? He would kind of correct it in practice if you like. He really just didn't want you driving and throwing the ball and he jumping in the air and throwing the pass. He hated that the most.
Yeah.
And then it became a habit for everybody. Next thing you know, we just be pivoting and everybody do it. And it was different for me for sure because, like you said, you would get to a flow to step back. So it was kind of really like playing off my jumper more. We had the freedom to just catch and shoot the ball anytime we wanted to in terms we thought we was open. So I learned to play off my mid-range more, and I was always a good mid shooter. But, yeah, it was different at first. I never jumped stuff like that in my life. And then next thing you know, I was doing it every damn play.
Man, shout out to them them like I said, them jump stops and back pivots, man, and them attitude days. That was something else, man. 1, 2, 3 attitude. Man, so
oh my God.
Man, that was something else. I want to get to I feel like what was kind of your coming out party, man, and that obviously that 15-16 year when you guys were able to win national championship, man, and that was, I feel like, up to that point, right? Villanova hadn't been able to get over the hump, you know what I'm saying, as far as winning it all, right? You guys had obviously been in the tournament, been a Big East powerhouse and stuff like that, but since like the Rolly Massimino days, this was the first time you guys were really, back in a national title conversation. And that team was loaded, obviously yourself, Josh Hart, Chris Jenkins, Archie Diacono, Daniel Ochefu. You guys had, a crazy mob that year. And I remember, man, watching that game, and you had a 20 ball in the natty chip, right? So just talk about one, that game, right? Like what was your mindset going into that game? Like, because I feel like, again, that team, right? You were only a sophomore. You playing with Josh Hart, Archie Diacono. It wasn't like you were one of the main guys. So, how did the game break down to where you ended up having a big night, in that natty chip game?
Man, yo, it's all over your blur in the game. At that point, I'm only averaging like 7 a game. I'm 6 man. I got a bad knee all year. I didn't get it fixed till after the season, so I'm playing on a bad knee all season, bro. And at that point, we in the chips. So I'm just like, well, I'll come off this bench. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win this game. We on the tip, bro. So this is nothing else on my mind. I think that's what allowed me to have a big game. I wasn't thinking about getting the bucket. I'm just like, if it's a rebound or a dive or just something, keep me out here to make some plays on this game. And I remember Daniel hit me with a 3, like passed to me, skipped to me a 3 on the right wing. I was like, bam, 3. I was like, okay. And I kind of got a little rhythm, but then in the second half, when you see like me scoring, I got like I'm just hooping at that point. At that point, like it don't even feel like I'm in that gym. It feel like I'm just in an open run. It just feel like, it just felt like just the rhythm I was in. So I just was hooping, flowing. They was giving me confidence. The ball was going in. The ball was finding me. It just felt like all the looks felt good. It just felt like I was in my own world, to be honest, bro. It just felt like I was just floating out there.
So when you think back to now, obviously this is 2023. So we're 7 years removed from that first natty chip. Like, you would think like, damn, bro really had 20 points in the natty. Like, how do you reflect back on that? Because that's hectic. You feel me? Especially as a sophomore, right? It wasn't even like you were a senior or one of the main guys. Like, I feel like forever you can be able to look back on that. Yeah, I had 20 natty chip. You know what I'm saying? Go check that out. Like, how do you even think about it in your head? You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, get to your point. I mean, yeah, that team was like I didn't say it, but Daniel Cheffel was on that team, big senior leader. You know, Archie Jackano, who's still in the league. Brunson was a starting point guard. You know what I'm saying? And then Josh Hart at 3, Chris the 4. Like we was loaded. You know, that team could do a lot. And I mean, it's crazy. People still talk about it to this day, going up around school in Philly area. They still remember it. I mean, it's crazy when I think about it. And I was 6 for 7 from the field. Like I've never shot like that. That's like the best game of my life. It's like I've almost played perfect. You know what I mean? 6 for 7, 20. So I mean, it's just crazy. When I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, that was just a crazy night, bro. And that was the last thing on my mind. Like thinking I would get 20. Like, bro, I was just trying to win that game.
Yeah. All right. So obviously, gotta ask you about the shot, man. When Marcus Page hits that 3, right, on the right wing, what's going through your mind, right? And it's crazy, bro, because we have that the Chris Jenkins play. Baker brought that same play to Quinnipiac, bro. It's wild. And I think we literally might have called it Wildcat or something like that, which is crazy. Yeah. What is going through your mind, man, when Marcus Page hits that 3? Are you thinking, damn, like, all right, we going to OT? You know what I'm saying? And then just walk me through that next 4 or 5 seconds that ensues.
I mean, it's the shot. I see a double clutch. I'm just like, in the game, I was just like, all right. I just saw we had like 4 seconds left on the clock. I'm like, all right, at least we get a shot up here. I'm definitely thinking probably OT. Because he make a shot like that, we probably go to OT. So I'm just like, all right, let's get to the huddle. We knew what play we was going to run before we got there. We practiced every day. So, like, we knew we was going to call. Nobody really panicked. We was kind of just like, all right, like, my boy Daniel misses the steal. He shoots a double clutch 3. If it's going to happen like that, it's going to happen like that. So we just knew what play we was going to call. We got in the huddle, just relaxed, took a breath, and then we just – and the rest is history.
So did you think Arch was going to shoot it, or did you know he was going to throw it back to Chris?
I didn't know what Arch was going to do, to be honest with you. I had no idea. I was looking at – I'm calling for the ball in that. I'm running towards Archie, hands ready.
Yeah.
Calling – I locked eyes with him. I think he's about to throw it. But I can't hear Chris. So apparently he said Chris is just yelling Arch behind him. I guess because, like, you know, you saw the replay. Ain't nobody guarding him. He's just yelling Arch. And, like, the funny thing is, as many times he ran that play, like, that man's never been open. So, like, nobody ever throw that pass. Like, but I'm watching the replay. I'm like, what was North Carolina doing? Why they got nobody guarding Chris? I'm watching the replay. Nobody does that in practice. We got somebody matched up. He's wide open. He goes to toss it back. Chris, that's money. Like, you know what I mean? He was one of the best shooters I've ever seen. So that was the money.
Jeez. Man, yeah, that was legendary, man. I feel like just watching it, right? You got 3 DV guys out there, yourself, Josh, and Chris. So we want a natty too, you know what I'm saying? I felt like nah, for real, man, the whole team. So when the ball goes through the net, man, what's your first thing that goes through your mind? Like, what's the reaction like when you see the ball go in?
Man, it's like we won, bro. I just grabbed Chris. I just like, damn, we just won the game off that. Like, crazy, it's loud, bro. I can't hear nothing. I'm just running around, laughing, smiling. I jump on Chris. I'm going crazy, bro. I'm like disbelief. Like, nah, we didn't win a championship like that. Like at this level, like,
and that play every year,
bro. They show it every year. Yeah, it's just like that's iconic. In the moment, bro, I just couldn't believe it. It's just every time I see it on video, it's just like, damn, bro.
Man. All right, so I thought the story of that year and that championship was completely different from the second one you guys won. Obviously, the next year you ended up having a knee injury and you ended up redshirt in that season. That was the same knee you had injured the year before you said was messed up? Is that the same knee?
Yeah, it was the same knee, bro. It was bothering me that year, that whole year. They kind of got it wrong, and then I kind of had to get it fixed again. So, yeah, that was a whole little thing on my knee for sure.
Okay. So that next year, this is a completely different team. Obviously, some of the guys still there as far as yourself and Brunson. But if I remember correctly, Mikal and Eric had redshirted that first Natty Chip year, right?
Mikal that first year, but he was a redshirt freshman, so he played a little bit. Yeah, he was like he played a little bit that year. Eric redshirted that year, and so the
yeah, okay, yeah. So Eric and Donte redshirted, and Mikal was a freshman. So that second year, you got Eric in the fold now. You got Amari Spellman in the fold. You got Donte in the fold. You guys have a completely different team. Y'all really running through, college basketball that second year in 2018. And then that was a year mollywop Oklahoma in the Final Four with Buddy Hield. That was a wild game.
Yeah.
But talk about just that season, what it was like just kind of running through the college basketball season that year, man, and just to talk about that team as a whole.
Man, it was a dominant year, and we just knew we were really good too. I think that was way different 2016. Like 2018, we like had that feeling like, nah, we locked in. Ain't nobody really beating us. So in 2016, we had that feeling. 2016 was kind of like to stay together. We was older. It was a more mature team. It was tough. It was different. 2018, we were so talented, and then we were so gifted on both ends of the floor. And like, man, if we tough and we play hard, nobody could beat us. So I mean, I think we lost 4 games that season. I missed 2 of them because I had a broken hand. So we lost like 2 games fully healthy,
right?
Which is crazy. So then we got to the Big East tournament rolling. I mean, we just a dominant year that year. I don't know. I think it was like number 1 for like the most that year by far. It was crazy.
Yeah. Now that year, Jalen wins National Player of the Year. That was the year before he went to the league, and that year kind of Donte had a Phil Booth-esque performance in the natty chip that changed his whole draft situation. What was it like for you, I guess, being in the backcourt with those 2 guys? Obviously, they're both in the league playing high level basketball right now, but I feel like Donte kind of had, like I said, he kind of came out of nowhere in that championship game. Obviously, people who watch basketball know who Donte was and followed and things like that. But I felt the casual basketball fans like, yo, who this dude out here frying like this? White boy out here cooking, going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Jalen had probably one of the most dominant seasons in recent memory. As a point guard, and then capping it off with a natty chip. What was it like, for you being in the backcourt with those guys as a teammate?
Yeah, it's crazy because 2016, we the young boys, me, JB, Kel, so we kind of young guys. Then we get 2018, all 3 of us are the captains. So we kind of big homies this team. So Donte having 20 off the bench, being a sophomore, is kind of how it works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to get the 20 because I'm the young guy. You got the older guys on the court, and it's always like, the older guys are starting and the young guy come off the bench. He just comes out wilding. He's playing free. And I think that's how it's meant to go, So I mean, shoot, that year JB was going crazy. It's funny what he's doing now because I was like, he was doing the same thing that year. If you look at what he did that year in college National Player of the Year, bro, he plays the same way. Of course, his game has gotten very tweaked, a couple things here, but like he was dominant, bro. That dude was shooting like 60-something from the field, like 50-something from 3, bro. He wasn't missing. Posting up 6'8" dudes, like he was doing whatever. And then on the a kind of different player at the time was Mikal, who's a 3-man. Mikal was a defensive, just everywhere, arms, hands on everything, catch the shoot, backdoor, dunking, 2 different type of players. Mikal was just the energy bug, and playing next to both of them that really got it done at 2 different type ways was crazy to see.
Yeah.
And then you had Donte, who kind of got going late. And he had some big games throughout the season. I know he averaged 13 a game, but he averaged I think he had some games. We had 30 during the season. He would have some breakout loud games like that, where you saw shit where it wasn't his first time. Like he's one of those dudes. If he gets a roll, just keep going in. We just keep playing through him and feed him. So I mean, it was so much talent on that team. It was, and then see how it all turned out now is even better.
So you mentioned it, like seeing how it all turned out now, man. Obviously, Jalen and Mikal are both, playing for the Knicks and Nets respectively. Donte's won an NBA championship. Like, what has it been like to see these guys, not only become NBA players, but like specifically with Jalen and Mikal? I mean, those guys are like franchise cornerstones, right now for the Knicks and the Nets, right? Like you mentioned, I feel like Mikal was like a role guy for you guys. He did a lot. He was an important guy, but I feel like a lot of people didn't really foresee him doing this. And Jalen, it's crazy, man. I was playing with Team Mello for a summertime before I went to prep school. And we played against, we went to a tournament called the 8 in Vegas. It's like a Nike tournament. So we played against Team Final. Yeah. We played against Team Final, Mac Irvin. Boy, Jalen gave us 30, like the hard way. I'm talking about all old man buckets and pivots, throwing his body, bro. It was nothing. It was me. Miles Stokes was on that team. We had Kyrie Thomas. We ended up going to Creighton, played in the league for a little bit, but we had a good team too. He was doing us ridiculous. But it's crazy because obviously he went in the second round, and I feel like when he got drafted, everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna be like a backup point guard," kind of like the Tyus Jones role. But he's not. Nobody foreseen him kind of doing what he's doing now. So for you to kind of obviously be teammates with those guys and to see what those guys have become now, in the NBA, what's that been like for you? Are you surprised kind of seeing what those guys have become? It's shocking to you. Did you like what? How do you kind of assess all that? Because it's crazy to see how far they've come.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild just the level they at right now. It's still early in their career. They both still like really even hit their real prime yet. So I mean, both was workhorses though, and the fact that JB was able to do what he did with the Knicks is crazy. You know what I'm saying? He just took his game to another level, and I felt like Mikal always had that scoring bug that you see now, like that scoring thing to him. He wasn't utilized like that with us at much at Nova. More role play. Same with the Suns, shoot the same thing. So when he finally got in that light and got to Brooklyn, he was like, man, he been waiting on this, So see how them both just took their games to another level, which is crazy. And the consistency they both do with that and the way they do it, I think it was there all along, but I think they're both in the right opportunities where they can show it to the maximum ability, So both of them dudes running New York right now.
And it's crazy to mention both of them guys running New York. And you also got, Josh Hart with the Knicks, who's going to be a free agent this year. So hopefully he comes back. But I feel like I want to ask you this, man, because I feel like from the outside looking in, right, like you all are all super close. Like we see the press conferences with Jalen and Josh always cracking jokes on each other and being goofy. And I always see you guys with yourself and Mikal, like Eric, y'all are all super close even to this day, man. Like I know you guys went on vacation last summer together. Like I feel like it's something just about you, the Villanova guys, man. You guys kind of stick together a little bit differently than I feel like I noticed other guys from other college programs. Like, number one, why do you think that is? And then, like, just talk about your relationship that you have with those guys, man. Even to this day, after college, 4 or 5 years removed from when you guys played together, and you guys are still, thick as thieves. You talk about, your relationship, even now.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like, you get to college and we really clicked off rips. Me, Mikal, like me and Mikal we living together our freshman year together, bro. We just clicked instantly. And then when you play together, you win together, you go through battles together like that. I think that stuff even adds to it. Just all the off the court fun we had, just being at Nova and hanging out and partying, doing whatever we was doing, and just all that time we had together, bro. And I think we had a strong foundation. It kind of just went like that. It's like real brothers for real. We talk every day, and I think just winning together too helped a lot. Just being in those tough moments and battles together, bro. And we just stayed tight. It's kind of the culture we had. We was always with each other summertime on the road, eating together. Like we was just always together like that. And it kind of just stayed that way. I think we just met each other, at the right time.
So I gotta put you on the spot, man. You know what I'm saying? Got to. And I want you to give your honest answer. Which team is better, 2016 or 2018? Who are you taking and why?
Oh man, you know what? They have this debate all the time. I played on both, so I'm kind of,
You unbiased. You unbiased because you played on both.
But whenever we get together, you got guys in 2016 like Chris and Daniel and Archie, and you got guys in 2018 that was only on that team like Omari or E. It's so funny, bro, because they both think one is better than the other. But I mean, for me personally, I still go 2018. Though I just think we was just so talented and so gifted physically on that team that we would just feel a little bit too overmatched for 2016. But it's been a hell of a game. I mean, I love both sides. They both my guys on both sides, so it's always tough, but just a little edge at 2018, man. Just slight edge.
So where do you rank? I agree with you. I agree with you. Where would you rank that team, man, as far as college basketball teams that come through in the past 10 to 20 years, man? Because I feel like, number one, if you think about it, like I said, just the run that you guys had was ridiculous, right? I mean, you had obviously the Baylor team that just won a couple years ago was pretty good. I think only lost like 1 or 2 games when they beat Gonzaga. Been a couple of teams there. Where do you think you guys sit? I mean, around some of the best college basketball teams that have come through, in recent memory.
I mean, we gotta be up there. I remember they had the stats from that year about winning margin in the tournament. We had the most shoot like field goal percentages from 3 or something. That run was like one of the best ever. We were like the best offensive rated team ever. That, you know what I'm saying? So I got puts in the top 5 easily. Top last 20 years, I can say that easily. How high? It can be in the top 3 for sure. I have no problem putting us in the top 3 in there. I think we can compete against all those best teams you can name in the last 20 years. I think the way we did it, how we did it, dominated, and then how the guys were after too, explains a lot. Just shows how talented that team was, you know. So yeah, I think it speaks volumes. I think JV and Mikal playing like this even keeps it going up, keeps the price going up on it, really. So it was how little that team was. But I think we could be honestly top 3, to be honest.
I love it. I love it, man. Now I want to talk about, your career personally, man, because I feel like I said, man, we came out the same year, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like as somebody who's kind of grown, with you, right? It's been crazy to see. And when you look back on your career, obviously we played you guys at Quinnipiac my senior year, but I redshirted, I had a back injury, man. But just looking back at your career, man, you're only the 9th player in Villanova history to score 1,500 points, 300 assists in your career. Like I said, 2-time national champion, all Big East, right? Like, I mean, you've had a crazy college career in your own right. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about the guys in DMV that have come through, right? Like Nolan Smith, Natty Chip, Quinn Cook, Natty Chip. Obviously, Nate and Josh both won national championships, man. There's been a crazy amount of guards. Melo Trimble, who was in our class as well, that had a crazy college career, right? How do you reflect on your own college career, man? And like, just what do you think how do you, I guess, what does it mean to you to kind of be in that conversation as truly like one of the best guards to come out of that DMV area, when it comes to your resume? And when you look at the total body of work, points, winning, like you did it all, you know what I'm saying? So, how do you reflect back on your college career, man? And what does it mean to you to truly be one of the best guards, to come out of DMV as far as what you did in college?
I mean, it's special, man, even that conversation. Because when you come to college, man, you don't know what you're thinking. You just trying to find a way to get on the court. And that's all was on my mind. So the way the career turned out, I did 5 years there, 2 chips, the wins, the memories, man, unbelievable. Don't even know how I got to that point. I just really kept my head down with it. And I learned so much playing there. Coach Wright was big on me there too. And I feel like he really pushed me to be a complete player. I think I just took my game to another level when I got there. Just scoring, playing defense on the both sides of the floor, man. Just there's been some great guards that came out of Nova. So even to be in the convo, it's crazy, man, with the Kyle Lowry, Allen Ray, Randy Foy, JB, Scotty Reynolds, Corey Fisher, man. It's a lot of dudes on that line, that could really hoop and really put in work before I got there. So just even mentioning that and just, when you just go into school, you're not even thinking about that. So to come out the way it did, man, it was special.
One of them ones for sure. One of them ones for sure, man. Definitely got to give Brody his flowers. Now, definitely got to mention Coach Wright, man. Obviously, he just retired, not this past offseason, but last offseason. And, Coach Neptune is the head man over there now. Did you ever see that coming? Like, did you get a sense he's gonna retire soon? Was it a shock to you when you found out he was retiring? And like what was going through your mind when you finally heard the news? Like, damn, like he really, because I feel like Coach Wright is older than what he looks like, but when you look at you, like, he ain't even that old. Like, you feel me? Like, Coach Wright, he keep his suits, you know what I'm saying? Taylor, you know what I'm saying? So, was you surprised when he decided to retire? And like, did you know that was coming?
I mean, man, so at this time I'm overseas at this point. I'm in Belgium, so I'm really not tapped in. I'm not really knowing what's going on at the spot. I'm just seeing the games on highlights, stuff like that. But I'm not in the program no more, so I don't really know. And the guys on the team at the time weren't telling me anything about that being going on. I'm talking to them. So I always knew he always said whenever I didn't feel like I had enough, I wouldn't keep on coaching. So I feel like he was somebody that had to be 120% in or he couldn't do it. So I feel like he got to that point where he couldn't get that done. But the whole retirement thing and transition to Neptune was like, oh shit. Yeah. I was like, because Nep was my guy when I was there. I mean, he worked me out on the court and all that stuff. And I mostly trained with him when I got shots up. So I think he was like, he was like the second or third assistant when I first got there. Yeah, he was under Dunleavy and asked him. So for him to work his way up, go to Fordham, have a good year, then like coach retired and bringing Neptune back, I'm like, whoa, what the hell going on? So, it was a lot. So I was happy for him and happy for both. Coach went out in the right way. He wanted to go out like that. He went to the Final Four his last year too. So happy for him, but happy my man Nep get the opportunity now to take the program up to another level.
Right. So when you talk about some of the great coaching in college basketball, people always mention, the Coach K's, Bill Self. You always mention the Tom Izzo and stuff like that. And I feel like recently, obviously, after you guys won those 2 natty champs, Jay Wright's name has kind of entered that conversation. But I feel like for the people who know about college basketball and the impact he's had on the game as a whole, can you just talk about the type of coach Coach Wright is, and why he truly should be mentioned in that same breath as some of the all-time great coaches in college basketball?
Man, Coach Wright, he's demanding. You ain't coming in there, it ain't sweet, it ain't easy with him. He gonna push you and challenge you. And I think probably the best thing he does that makes him what made us successful and what got him to that level he is now is he figures out how to get the most out of his players. He figures out how to motivate you to get you to do more. He's a good motivator. He knows how to what to say to what player to get him going. I said that's gotta be a skill for a coach. If you say the wrong thing, some players they're like, I'm off you, like, whatever. Right. But he figured out how to really communicate well what he wanted and how he wanted it. And he was good at that, man. He was good at getting us to play on the same level and the same page and and really play for each other. He really made it, So he was good at that, man. A lot of coaches can't challenge the way he do. So and he gave you freedom on one side of it too. I mean, I still believe Coach Wright. He's a player's coach to me. He was always kind of just thinking of a player's way and trying to make it more successful for you on the court and off the court too. So, I mean, yeah, he was a special dude, special motivator. I think that's probably one of the best things about him was how he was able to get the most out of you, push you, but still like be kind of cool with you off the court. You know what I mean? He was a cool dude.
Facts. Now, being a part of the media, I've been able to have a couple of connections in the college basketball realm, and I've heard that Villanova got that nice NIL bag going now. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the main reasons why Justin Moore decided to come back to Nova this year as opposed to that portal. Now, for you being a guy who is a 2-time Natty champ, 20 points in the Natty, do you ever think back on what type of NIL bag you would have got at Nova if you went college?
I'm just a couple years too late, bro. I'm just like, damn. Just coming out of that, I think about all the time, coming up in 2016, we had NIL chance, man. I don't know what would have happened or how. It could have been crazy. Who knows if we can get that second chip if we got NIL coming in? You know what I mean? Man. Just all players could be leaving, money coming in, dudes like indifferent. It could have been all went south, bro. So, yeah, I was coming in late, man. I wouldn't trade my college spirit for nothing, but damn.
Hey, you definitely had a couple extra 6 figures in that account for sure if you was back in college.
Sure.
Yeah. So I want to kind of switch gears a little bit. Obviously, after college, you were able to kind of sign a deal with the Wizards, and coming out of college. Talk about number one, just what that whole experience was like, and then being a hometown kid from the DMV, getting an opportunity to suit up for the Wizards and the go-go in that first season, man. Just what that opportunity was like, what that training camp experience was like. If you ever had like just kind of that first, what was them emotions, when you first kind of got it going with the Wizards?
I mean, man, it was crazy. That's the closest team to home for me. That was the hometown team for me, really. If I went to an NBA game when I was younger growing up, they'd be the Wizards to see Gilbert and them boys, so that was kind of it for me. So going there, getting an opportunity there, play there, 45 minutes from home. My family come see my games. Friends could be there. Could be close to home. It was love, bro. That training camp was nice. I did the mini camp with them in LA before. I was there for 4 days just playing pickup. In training camp, too, I'm in great shape at this time, playing well. So being out there, guarding Brad Beal every day in training camp, what I'm saying, and on that team. And, yeah, John was hurt that year. We had IT that year. Was in training camp at that time. Because that team's way different now. It was Rui first year. All them dudes, I'm thinking now, are probably gone for real. To be honest, I don't think they're there right now.
Yeah.
So that was cool, man. Then they it sent me down to the G League go-go. That was love, though. I'm playing in there. I'm staying in D.C. I started to get my rhythm going kind of towards COVID hit, playing there. But that adjustment, just a different style of game in college and jumping to the G League to the pro level. All the experiences was great, though. You learned so much, man. It was just a roller coaster of just this, the day, to that, the game. It was a lot, but I loved that year, to be honest.
Now, did you ever have if you can remember, did you ever have any like welcome to the NBA moments from that training camp experience? We like, damn, it's a little different up here. Like, and if you do you have any stories that kind of stick out from that time?
Honestly, bro, I don't got a bad one. I really don't got a bad one. I played pickup with him for a month or two before training camp, so I was really there with the team for I want to say 3 months, playing every day pickup. I didn't have it bad. I mean, the skill level was crazy and the shot making. That was the biggest thing. And how hard it was to really guard dudes probably on that island, like how much space it really is out there. Like you really got to defend.
Yeah.
And you kind of on your own on that island. So just that, maybe the adjustment, just the game, the speed of the game was different. But I didn't have a bad moment where I was like, damn, this is crazy. So,
so you
yeah.
held your own pretty well. That's what it sounds like.
I was solid out there. I was a fifth year senior, so I was older. I wasn't a young guy out there. I was 23 at that time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Say no more. Say no more. So that next year, you obviously played with the OKC Blue in the G League again. That's kind of the short end, kind of COVID year. With the
Yeah.
G League. And then the next year, you decided to go overseas. So for you, right, what was the deciding factor in not pursuing the G League again and deciding to go overseas? Because a lot of guys, especially like I said, when with your resume coming out of college, like, man, I'm getting to the league. I should be in the league, right? Like, I think I could get there, So for you, what was that deciding factor in you going overseas instead of continuing to chase the NBA?
I mean, yeah, it was my second year in the G League at the time with the OKC Blue. And after that year, I mean, I had an okay year in that bubble, and I was just like, man, I gotta make a change. Either I'm gonna go back one more year, play a year, or I'm gonna go to Europe and try to make more money there. And I feel like the money and the playing situation was just better in Europe. And it's kind of worked out for me that way. And I didn't want to waste too many years in the G League, man. What I'm saying, the years of basketball years, we got a short lifespan, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to maximize as years as I can with this ball thing. So I didn't want to waste one more year of thinking if I get called up or not, or thinking if I don't, trying to force it. So I just made the move before anything else can happen. And that's how it went.
Yeah. Now, what do you think is the biggest difference between overseas and the G League based on your experiences playing in both?
I mean, probably the physicality. I mean, Europe, man, it's a super physical game out here. I mean, that's just how it's played. It's kind of G League's kind of free flowing and open. Like Europe could kind of be like a chess piece game. Like whatever the mismatch is or whatever this is, they'll find a way to get to it. They kind of manipulate the game more in Europe,
right?
And G League kind of just read and react and play and flow. Like these guys kind of just they can really know how to control the game. And it's a slower pace. And it's more of a mind game out there playing, to be honest with anything, as you see at the high level. So that was kind of really the biggest adjustment, just learning the different terminology, the different rotations on defense rotate way different in Europe and the G League. It was really weird to me, like the positioning on defense, all that stuff's weird. No space out there, so it's all different, bro.
Now, you've had the opportunity to play in Belgium. You've played in Montenegro. You've played in Turkey this past season. What would you say is? I mean, every country plays a different style of basketball, right? Like as far as the physicality, as far as the refs, as far as just the on the court strategy, right? Like, what would you say has been your favorite spot that you've played overseas? And I guess like from an on the court and off the court perspective, like as far as living and things like that. What would you say has been your favorite spot you've been to overseas so far?
Man, I mean, playing in Turkey was probably the best. I mean, I lived in Izmir. I was in the kind of like a spot by the beach. It was sunny every day, palm trees. The weather was great. It was pretty Americanized too in terms of just the restaurants and chains, like Popeyes or Burger King, whatever you were thinking of. It was just
Popeyes over there.
Yeah, they have Popeyes, but they ain't KFC. Yeah,
they got the chicken sandwich. The Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Yeah, they got it. They got it.
They got I've never seen Popeyes over here, but I seen KFC.
Really?
They had KFC in Portugal too. But we didn't have no Popeyes though. That's crazy.
Bro, a few of them. So it was pretty Americanized and pretty modern. So that was a big like surprise to me. Like, oh, and on the court wise too, Turkey kind of a free playing game in terms of really let your guards get busy, really let your guards hoop, like really do their thing. It's kind of a free flowing league. And I was coming from Montenegro, it was kind of like that. When I got to Turkey, it was like they let you hoop a little bit more. So on the court, I really got to play how I wanted to play. It was nice, man. So going from there, I really say Izmir. But I love Belgium too. Belgium was good. Belgium was cool.
Got bumped against Ephes this past year when you was in Turkey. Did you get to play against them?
Yeah, we played against them at Ephes.
So how was that matchup with you got Vasily Mitic, Shane Larkin, Will Clyburn? Talk about that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shane didn't play, but Mrs. played, and so did Clyburn. They smacked us bad too. I think Mrs. was hitting some threes, and Clyburn was doing what he was doing. They didn't really get too much. I mean, they was just beating us bad. I don't even remember really cooking us that much, but it was just beating us bad, bro.
So that's tough team right there, man. Effish, Fenerbahce, crazy bump. Good EuroLeague bump. Obviously this year you decided to just sign with Strasbourg, a team in the French league. I believe they play Champions League. So talk about your decision to go to Strasbourg, kind of what went into that, and then what you're looking forward to most about coming to Strasbourg next season.
I mean, it was a good opportunity. I felt like I played there when I was in Belgium. I played against Strasbourg at their spot. I love their gym. They was in a pretty nice city. The French league is a good league with a lot of good players. So, I mean, I was eager for the opportunity playing in France, and want to see what we can do with this team this year. See what we can do and try to make a strong run at this thing.
Yep. Now, I feel like knowing you, right, and obviously I feel like people who say point guards, or just guards, make good coaches. What does life after basketball for Phil Booth look like, man? Do you ever think about what you want to get into after you retire, man? Like, I know you got like I said, you got a long time left to play this game, man. You're still playing at a high level, obviously Champions League, you know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna rush that. But I'm saying, do you ever think about just what you want to get into after basketball? What does that next chapter look like for you?
I mean, yeah, bro. I still want to be around basketball in some sort of form. I just don't know what form, with coaches, scouting, whatever that may be. But I want to be around the game in some form, man. I'm definitely going to be involved in basketball. I don't know which part yet, but I take thought. I have opportunities on both sides of that, just with the people I know and where I've been. So we'll see whatever side I choose, but I'll be involved with the game of basketball. I know that.
If you did coach, would you want to coach college? Would you want to do the pro route, make a return to Villanova? Like, you ever think about any of that kind of stuff? What route would you want to take?
Honestly, college is rough, bro. Coaching in college is hard, bro. That's a lot in terms of just you dealing with younger kids. You got to deal with the school. You got to deal with this a lot of different factors. Just basketball, you know what I mean? So I saw my college coaches when I was college. I thought about them. I was like, man, y'all do a lot, bro. You really got to take care of it. You got to work for a coach. You got to work for the school. Take care of the players. It's a lot. So that would be the toughest route, to be honest. It was college, but we'll see.
All right, so got a couple quick hitters, man, before we get you out of here, man. What would you say is your favorite off the court memory or off the court story from Villanova? If it was a crazy locker room experience, a crazy night out, you know what I'm saying? What would you say was your favorite off the court moment or memory?
I mean, keep it simple. The first championship when we had the parade in 2016 in Philly, that was love. We're not even the Philly school. We outside. We claim as outside, but coming down to Philly, like after we won that chip, the way we won with Christian DeShot, and just seeing the whole Market Street just flooded. It felt like it was millions of people out there, but I don't know how it was crazy. Just to have that experience, like all that support and love was crazy, bro. Just being at that parade, riding the bus, just on having that a crazy ass 2 weeks of just the parade, partying for just 2-3 weeks right after that shit, bro. And that's nonstop. So that's probably it. That parade was love.
All right, so now give us I guess a funny story, I guess, from one of the guys. I feel like I was listening to Josh on the on Taylor Rook's podcast. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to that one. He told a story about first of all, I know you've seen Josh's breast milk tweet.
Crazy, man. Crazy. That boy is really crazy.
But he told a story about him and Jalen were on FaceTime or something, and he said just talking about their relationship. He was like, I guess Josh got a newborn or whatever, and he said he's on FaceTime with Jalen. He's like, hey, bro, like, hey, my son packing, bro. He's like, bro, what?
Yo, boy's off. Yo,
Josh is wild.
He's wild.
So I need a story that comes to mind, man, when you think of either Josh, Mikal, Jalen, man, or just that kind of really shows their personality that you could think of.
An exact story, bro. like the stuff you see Josh say now, like he's always been like that on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is how he's always been since I met him. I've known him since I was like 15 because of Takeover, and he played one. Josh has always been like this, so I'm glad the world going to see him. This man every day in a regular time. Anytime you see him, he's gonna be like acting like that. I got a funny story. Josh got a lot of funny things he did. He's my roommate too on the road for 2 years. I was really with him, but I don't got no specific guy I remember. You know what I'm saying? It was so much funny stuff. JB was kind of like a goofy type too. You know, Josh brings it out. JB kind of really serious, but he could be goofy like that too. So he was kind of the same way, man. They both were silly ass dudes.
Nah, facts. Jalen doesn't get off that personality to where he's like he tried to come off as serious, but you could tell behind the scenes he's probably the biggest goofball, man. So what has been the favorite city you visited since you've been playing overseas? You had time on a FIBA break. You had a little bit of vacation time. What's the favorite city you've been to?
To London or Milan. I played in London this past year, and I visited last year, and then I visited Milan several times last year too. I had the chance, but probably Milan, man. It's love down there. Just being in that fashion world, Italy, bro. Just when you get in certain parts of Europe, like Italy or London or like Germany or somewhere in those good spots, man, it just feels like damn, this is crazy. You know, it's really exciting to see. So those are probably my two favorite cities right there. London just feel like you back home. I feel like you in New York. They speak in accent though. We got Wingstop. We got all the American spots you can think of. That's just love being over there.
Yeah. We just had my boy Stan Okoye on last week's episode. It's going to drop today. He was talking about Milan. I actually met him in Milan. Did you ever get a chance to go to Just Cavalli or Vote when you was out there?
And then several times, of course. Yeah, I've been to
Great vibes, great nights, man. If you know, man.
Sure.
All right, so obviously the name of the podcast is What's in Your Bag. So we're gonna ask you what's in your bag. It's a twofold question, right? You step out to the club, what's in your bag? Like what you throwing on as far as the fit? We need you to give us the outfit. And then number two, second part of the question is what's literally in your bag? You got like a tote bag, you a tote bag, over shoulder bag type of guy. What's going in the bag physically?
Okay, what's the fit? You know what I mean? I'm going to the club. I can keep it kind of simple. I might keep a nice clean white tee on maybe, or some type of graphic tee. The jeans is where I'll probably get real dicey. Got to have a good pair of jeans on. Something with some type of design or whatever brand you could think of.
What's your favorite brand for jeans?
Favorite brand for jeans? What's the brand? I got a brand called what? MNLA. You ever heard that one?
Oh, Minimal?
I think is that what it's called? MNLA?
It's like MNML or something like that. MN.
I think it was like MNML. I think it's like an LA in there somewhere.
I think it is. I think it's Minimal LA.
Yeah. I think that's it. Nah, they got some good jeans that kind of just go right. And then on the feet is crucial. It depends on what type of club I'm going to. I'm going somewhere I think I'm mess my feet up, or I'm going somewhere like, you know, where I can wear some good kicks. But probably some J's in Europe. I ain't tripping. I probably got some J's on. I definitely got a hat on, probably like a one or two chains hanging out. That's about it. And a watch on. I gotta have a watch on.
Okay, good watch. Now, what's going in the bag? You got the over-the-shoulder bag, a tote bag. What's throwing in the bag?
Man, I would only have some candy, and I like some candy in the late night while I'm out. I like some candy in the late night. That's about it.
Lacking. Your bag is lacking, bro. Listen, when I go out, I gotta have a charger in the bag. I gotta have a chapstick. I gotta have a cologne. I gotta have, what else, bro? I got the pocket Wi-Fi. You know, in Japan, we gotta have the pocket Wi-Fi because you step out, you don't have no service. You know what I'm saying? I feel like your bag lacking, gang. You gonna be out there.
I hear all that before. I already got the cologne on. I already got the phone charge. That's already set. I'm already good there. I just need something just to be out for a little bit. Give me a little candy, bro. That's it.
Okay. So last question we got, man. We always ask all of our guests. Shout out to All the Smoke because we grabbed this segment from them. Who is one person that we should have on the podcast? And whoever you say, you got to help us get them on. You got to give us a little point guard assist, man. Connect the dots for us.
You got to get my boy Jalen Adams on here. He been on here yet?
Not yet. Definitely got to get that done.
Get Jay to get over here. I can see when we get over. We gotta get Jay. Jay got some good stories to tell. Jay got a crazy experience with him. Being in the league, playing the bubble. He really was around, so I know he got a great story to tell. But I can help you get Jay on, man.
Say no more. Say no more. We're gonna get that done, man. But shoot, we always end off every episode, man, giving flowers, man. And like I said, man, it's been an honor to just be able to watch your career progress, watch your career grow ever since 2014, man. Shoot, 9 years in, still going, still playing at a high level, man. Undoubtedly one of the best guards to ever come out of DMV, man. I just definitely want to, like, obviously let you know that, let you know I'm proud of you, bro. Let you know that want you to keep going. You know what I'm saying? We're always going to be supporting you here at All Facts Media, man. And it's been an honor just to be able to, see what you'll be able to do and put on for the city, man. So, like I said, from me to you, bro, keep doing your thing, bro. Thank you for coming on, man. It's definitely been an honor, man. Like I said, I know I'll catch you back at the crib soon, man. We can get some runs in or something.
Sure, man. Thanks for having me on, bro. I appreciate it, bro. Just going way back, and we was young guns coming out, and to see where we at now. Keep going forward, keep pushing. Don't nothing stop, man. Just keep on grinding, bro. And we both on the same page with that, bro. So that's love. I'm gonna see you when I'm at home for sure. You already know.
100%, man. All right, guys. This has been another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. If you're still watching this podcast, man, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. It goes a long way. Trying to hit 10K by the end of the summer, man. We're gonna hit that goal, you know what I'm saying? And y'all gonna help us hit that goal, man. So tap that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. Stream my boy Put Up Tay. Music is gonna be him on the outro. Until next time, folks, we'll catch you.
Suave. I've been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mental. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different route, change relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hardly. Now